mermaid junkies, how are you? Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit different because now that I have a little over 5,000 subscribers, I thought I would do a little bit of a get to know mermaid junkie Raquel. And the reason is because I have people ask me questions all the time, and a lot of them are like the same questions. And so I thought, what would be better than to do a get to know mermaid junkie Raquel, right? So like I've had people ask me, yes, I'm going to be fidgeting with my hair quite a bit today because it's totally nasty and gross. Like, do you guys wash your hair every day? Like, I do not wash my hair every day, or sometimes not even every week. Yes, it's really bad for your hair. I know this because I have talked to hairdressers. And is that kind of like what you call it, hairdressers, like today's age? Like, anyway, like, remember how it used to be called a beauty shop and then it turned into like a hair salon? Anyway, okay, so I thought I would do the most asked questions, and let's see how this goes, okay? All right, I am super hyper today. I had my power drink this morning, and I'm drinking my go-to Very Berry Hibiscus with no water from Starbucks, which it's so good. It's so good. So when I want to drink cold tea, that's what I drink. And normally, like when I'm at the house and stuff, I make my own tea, like I'll go to Teavana, which is the same tea from Starbucks that they use. But Teavana, Teavana in the mall. I'm sure you guys know, but anyway. Okay, so here's the first one. What is my zodiac sign and my star and my sun and rising star? Okay, so listen, you can go on this website, and I can put the link down below for you if you want. My sign is Pisces. My birthday is February 25th. I was supposed to be born on leap year, but anyway, I am a Pisces. And my rising sign is Sagittarius. I don't know what my sun sign is. Isn't that funny? But you can go to this website and it will give you like a birth chart, and it's free of charge. I will put the link below if you guys want, because it's kind of fun. But you have to know, you have to have your birth certificate, and hopefully on your birth certificate it has the date, the time that you were born, because that's really essential, like the place in the world that you were born. And so you have to know like your city and your county and state, obviously, and then you need to know your birthday, and then you need to know what time of day you were born. And so it's very, very precise. Like, you would be so surprised. Like, you guys will totally love it because it gives you like your sun sign, your rising sign. I just don't remember what mine is because for whatever reason, I was just like, oh, Sagittarius is my rising sign. Okay, cool. But I just most of the time anyway go by Pisces, So, okay, so that is that. What is my favorite holiday? And anyone that knows me knows it's Halloween. Like, I love Halloween. Oh my God, it's my favorite. My favorite place in the world is a graveyard. I will go and been known to have picnics, take my own little checkered plaid napkins in my little picnic basket and make me a little sandwich and just look at all the gravestones and just walk around and talk to dead people. I love it. It's so relaxing to me. Like, it's totally not gory or weird, but I know a lot of people think that I'm like bizarro, and I am. I like a lot of like oddities and like derelict. Is that how you say it? Like weird shit, like things that are falling apart, barks on trees, like broken shit, like broken dolls, heads torn off the dolls. Like, I just love stuff that's old. Like, it looks like it's 1,000 years old. Like, I love everything old. Like, there's nothing I do not like that's not decrepit and old and like almost on that realm of like creepy, weird shit. Yeah, I kind of dig that stuff. Okay, my religion. People want to know my religion because I've talked different times about like religion. Okay, so now I am not a practicing religious person. When I was born and grew up, like in my mommy's little tummy, I was a Pentecostal Church of God person, right? So I was very, very religious as well, too. I was like a really, really good girl, and I'm still a really, really good girl. But anyway, yeah, I was really, really into religion. And then when I turned 15, it was 14-ish, 15, I started going to the Mormon church, and I went for like 3 years, and I wasn't a member or anything, but I was just like, it was kind of like, oh, I like this boy, and so I'm totally going to go to church with him, right, kind of thing. And I ended up kind of digging the religion, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool and whatever, and it served me at the time. It was really great and whatever. I even raised all of my children, which is the next question. How many children do I have? Anyway, so I raised my children Mormon, and until like 4 or 5 years ago, I stopped practicing religion, and now I just completely live like the law of attraction, universal laws and that kind of thing. And so I'm very spiritual, but I'm not a religious person any longer. Let's see. Do I have children? Like I said, yes, I have 4 children. I am 45 years old. I started having children when I got pregnant when I was 19-ish, 19, almost 20 years old. So yes, I had all of my children under the age of 30. My youngest child is 17. My oldest is 24. So I have 3 boys and 1 girl. And do I want more children? Yes, I would like to have 1 child with my newly beloved husband and soulmate, Jeffrey. Do I read? And you guys know this. I know you guys know this, but I guess a lot of times, like, I have new subscribers, so a lot of times people haven't went back to like my old videos, because I've been doing YouTube since 2013, but not consistently. Like, I left for like an entire year when I was going through my divorce. But so I would say that, yeah, it's been since 2013, but I kind of took a year off because I was like breaking down. So anyway, yes, I love to read. I love all romantic novels, like romantic dramas, like Jane Eyre, all the Jane Austen shit. I love all of that stuff. Pride and Prejudice is my favorite. I will read consistently over and over and over again the Little House on the Prairie books by Laura Ingalls Wilder, because I think that I'm her reincarnated. I love her. I've loved her since I was a little teeny girl, like literally in 1st and 2nd grade. Like, my mom would take me to the library and I would get to pick out all the books that I wanted. And I think at the time it was like you could pick out 7 books, and I would always beg my brothers, like, please, can I use your library card to check out these extra books? Because like, I didn't want to just have 7. Like, I was like, I want to have like 20, because I didn't know the next time I was going to get to the library. So I would check out and read. That's all I do. Even now, all I do is read, and write. Like, I would practice my handwriting since I was like in 2nd grade, and I always got like 100% like A+ for all of my penmanship. And the teachers would always tell me how beautiful my handwriting was. And so I started practicing calligraphy, and I would just like continually practice with them. And I love fountain pens. I love calligraphy pens. I like the old world style of writing, like using the ink and the little feather pens and all that kind of stuff. Like, I dig that shit. Love it. And I have an assortment of them. And so like, if you know me, like if anybody asks me for a pen or whatever, like I'll pull out this. I have like my little Louis Vuitton little pencil pouch, and it has probably 30 pens in there, and pencils and erasers and different, love writing things. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, does that make sense? Okay. So, when did I start painting was another question. I haven't painted that long. I used to paint all the time when I was a kid. I would paint all the time. I took art every time I could have an elective in school. I'd always take art. And when I was a senior in high school, I got a 4-year degree to an art college. And I was able to go to the college. I was going to live on campus and all that kind of stuff. But because of a boy, I turned down the scholarship, which was dumb. That's my biggest regret in life, I think. If I had to say it was a regret, but then again, I mean, I really don't have regrets, I guess, because everything works out the way it's supposed to, you know, you guys. But yeah, and then in 2013, I started like dabbling in it again because I was like, you know, I really missed that part of me. Like I was just going through a lot of transition and stuff, right? So anyway, so then I picked up the pen. I picked up my paintbrush and I started painting again because it always made me feel like I felt like God. It's like Tasha Tudor says, you can create anything as a story. You can make your life any way you want it when you have direction of a paintbrush. And so I love that because it makes me feel powerful. I love it because in my imagination, I can create whatever I want. And I think that's why I always loved like fairy tale-ish kind of things when I was a little girl, like Laura Ingalls Wilder and stuff. And I would really, literally, I would dress like Laura Ingalls Wilder, like my entire growing up, probably until I was in 9th grade when people started going, are you in a cult or something? Like, are you Church of God? Now, mind you, yes, I was Church of God. But that's not the reason that I dress that way. I just have always loved dresses and feeling pretty and feminine. And I just feel most comfortable in a skirt or a dress. And that's just what I've always loved, right? And so, no, it's not normal. But I've loved it since I was a child, and I just always imagined how I wanted my life to be. You know, I'd read stories and I would pretend that I was Laura Ingalls Wilder. And it's so funny because my brother still to this day calls me Laura Ingalls Wilder. So it's kind of cute, actually. Okay, so I think I said that, right? Do I read? Yeah. And so, yeah, I love Jane Austen books. I love John Keats. Like, I love poetry books. I love, I love, like I said, I love Pride and Prejudice. I love all of the Jane Austen series, the Laura Ingalls Wilder. I love Tasha Tudor books. Like, I love biographies, autobiographies. I like all that kind of stuff, like old journals and stuff. Like, I think that's totally dope, is to read, like, go to the library or like antique stores and stuff and find like old journals from people that like back in the day would have, you know, writings and stuff. Like, I think that's so cool. Like, don't ever throw your shit away if you're like I have journals from when I was probably, I think I started collecting them and saving them when I was about 13 or 14. So I still have like a crap load of just books, like spiral notebooks and journals and all kinds of stuff packed away in our guest room because I just can't get rid of them. Like, that's like diary stuff. Like, my kids and grandkids might want to know about their grandma that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always say Lolly. I want to be called Lolly when I'm a grandmother, and then my husband will be called Pop. Lollipop. Isn't that kind of cute? The next one is, do I believe in spirit guides? Yes, I have spirit guides. Let me tell you who they are. Tasha Tudor, Jesus, Christopher Columbus, Beatrix Potter, and Leo Tolstoy. Isn't that funny? I know you're probably like, well, why are those your spirit guides? But let me tell you, I talk to these dead people all the time, and it's not weird. Do I have any pets other than Oliver? No, Oliver's my own. Yeah. Wait, I take that back. Oliver is my bunny rabbit. He is a blue tort. And he is a, oh my God, why can't I think of the kind of rabbit that Ollie is? His name's Oliver Twisty Top, and I named him that because I had always wanted to name one of my kids Oliver. I always thought it was Oliver. Like, I just think it's so cute, the name Oliver. And my ex-husband hated the name, and we wanted to name our kids family names, which I never could find Oliver in, our genealogy books. So I was like, okay, fine. So when I have a rabbit, and I remember writing this in my journal probably like in 1993 or something, I'm like, okay, one day I'm going to have a rabbit and I'm going to name him Oliver. And then I just added Twisty Top because Oliver Twist, but I didn't want it to be like Oliver Twist because that story's like terrible and sad. But I thought it was kind of cute to like Twisty Top. I think that's just kind of like, fun. Anyway, he's totally an Oliver Twisty Top. And I'm so happy that I finally, he was a gift to me from Jeffrey. Jeffrey bought him for my birthday. And I would just never forget, it was just such a beautiful experience because I had wanted him for so long. I had wanted a bunny rabbit in my house to hop around, on my floors and just hang out with me, everybody has a dog and a cat. I wanted a friggin' rabbit. And anyway, and so that dream came true. And we do have a fish, and his name is Bach, the musician. And he is now almost a year old, and he is one of those, oh my God, what do you call those fish? Not angelfish. I can't even think of what he is. I'm losing my train of thought today. But anyway, he's beautiful. And he stays in our guest room or whatever, and I keep a little lamp on him. And he almost died 2 months when we got him, because those fish, people that buy those fish and you get them at the pet store and stuff, and they're in the little teeny container, and it's they're always on their last breath. I mean, let's be honest, those poor little things are sitting in there and they're like, please God, someone come and rescue me, let me have a big fish tank. I mean, it's pitiful. And so if I could save all of the little fishies, I wish I could. And but anyway, I just love them, and I think they're so cute, and they actually do have personalities, and I'm like, well, of course they do, because I'm part fish. I know, I'm being silly, but yeah, so his name is Bach, and I love him, and he almost died, but I used some essential oils from doTERRA, and I put some Melaleuca in his fish water because he was floating at the top, he was pretty much dead, but he was still one little fin was going like this every like that, and I was like, oh my God, I think I can totally bring this fish back to life, right? And so I put it in there and cleaned his bowl and everything, and and the next day he was swimming around, and he's been good to go ever since. So essential oils work. I don't use any of that crap that they have in the pet stores. None of that shit works, by the way. If it does, kudos to you, because I've never had it to be able to work. All I do is use 1 drop of essential oil. I hardly ever change the water. It's green muck and it's growing in there. But you know what? Fish love that, because fish don't live normally in real life. They don't live with this pure clean water and there's no gunk in there and all that stuff. And I think that's why it's the water's too freaking clean for the fish. You know what I'm saying? They're used to having algae and green shit growing on rocks and stones and the sides of the tank and everything like that. And I don't know if that sounds gross or whatever, but it's I totally dig it, and I think it looks cool because it looks like real life to me. It looks like, oh my God, that totally looks like it would be underwater. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not this clean, pristine thing. And I think that's what he was trying to tell me, bitch, I don't want no clean water. You're killing me over here, right? No, he doesn't. Anyway. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. These are some questions about my beloved gardener and I. And I really do keep Jeffrey quite mysterious, and I do that for a particular reason. And I kind of like having it like that. I don't know if there will come a time that he will be more in my videos or not. I might just keep him mysterious forever. I don't know. I mean, I don't show him a lot in his face on my Instagram or pictures and things like that, and I do that for a particular reason. I just like to leave the mystery up to, like, ooh, it's ethereal and dreamy like, right? The other reason that I'll do that is because I will explain to you. I am so used to being on the reverse side of the situation in a relationship. And so when I got my own channel and created my own channel, I wanted it to be my channel, not some guy that I'm standing behind in the wings like, oh, what about me back here? Look, my name's Raquel. You know what I mean? It's like this is my thing. And so that kind of sounds selfish, and it is, but it's like you learn from experience. And so, yeah, I want everything to be mine. Like, that sounds really like maybe arrogant, but I don't really care what it sounds like. Okay, so how did Jeffrey and I meet? We met on Facebook. Yes, we did. And the whole long story, which I'm going to post, the whole long story about how my beloved gardener and I met. But yes, I was planning to get a divorce. Like, here's the other thing that I will give you a little 411 on, is that because I have this channel that I feel like it's my outlet to say what's on my mind, and no one's going to know that unless they actually listen to my videos or go and read my blog. But my blog is kind of like, I kind of keep things a little bit more private and more particular, you know, and very, you know, very nice and pleasantry, because I want it to be a place that people can go and read and feel like they can escape for a little while. But here on my channel is more of a place where I can express my feelings and have my voice heard. So yes, Jeffrey and I met on Facebook. Yes, I was technically married at the time. But long story short, my husband and I had issues back in 2009. I wanted to get a divorce. We separated for 7 months. I never told anyone. I moved out and lived with my girlfriend, and I wanted to get a divorce, but I felt like my daughter was still a little bit young, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't do it right now. It was a lot to take on, and I was very, you know, I feel like a little bit, not like I'm playing the victim, but I was a little bit psychologically abused. And so it's very difficult. Like, if anyone knows and you've never had a career, you know, so don't shoot me down and tell me, you know, that, oh, I'm a terrible mother because I left all of my children. You know, I mean, all of my children were gone out of the house, and Zoe Kennedy was the only one, my daughter, the youngest one, 17. And so, you know what? I bonded with my children. They were young enough. I mean, I was with them their entire lives, like every step of the way, every single day, all day long. I mean, because I was a stay-at-home mom. I never had a career. So yes, my entire children's lives, I was there as their mother. So do I have any regrets about leaving my children? No, I taught them to be independent and to live on their own and to be their own person. And I think that was the best gift that I could have given my children, was to leave a situation that was completely killing me mentally, physically, emotionally, and all of those things, right? So technically, yes, I did have an affair, because on paper, I wasn't divorced yet. But at the time, I had already planned on divorcing my husband. I just didn't tell him. You guys, I was completely like planning, like hatching up my escape plan, so to speak. I was never physically abused by my ex-husband or anything like that. It wasn't that way at all. But mentally, that takes a toll on you when you are psychologically like kind of beaten down. And so, yeah, this is my story, and I'm telling this because there's been so many people that have come to me and told me or said, I've heard through the grapevine that, you know, they chose my ex aside and they thought that I was a wretched person because I abandoned my children. That fucking never happen. So if you are on that bandwagon of that, you're like, I don't even want you on my channel anyway, because it's like, you don't know the whole story. And I've been very, very good with being respectful of trying not to throw somebody under the bus when I could clearly have done it so many times. But I'm not gonna go lower my standards that way. But just know that yes, technically on paper, you can say, well, she had an affair. Yeah, I did. And sue me. You're not perfect either, so don't sit there and judge me, because I can guarantee you the ones, and this is another thing I want to say too, like, let me just spout this off real quick, is that those of you, and you know who you are, that have called me a terrible mother, and I could never do that. I couldn't abandon my children. What kind of mother does that? What has she got? What's going on with her? She must be crazy. Listen, we all know I'm kind of a little bit got a tick, but we all do. And the other thing is, the ones of you that have judged me and said that, because I know who you are. I just have never confronted you or said anything, because it's like, you're not worth my time, but I'm going to address it here, because it seems like, you know, like I still do get those remnants sometimes of people like sending me an email and like, really? You're just wanting to like bring me down. That fucking shit ain't going to work no more. But, yeah, just remember that when you have children, I promise you, you judge me, and the same freaking thing is going to happen to you or worse. So don't sit there and judge me about being a terrible mother when I can promise you the day will come you will live to regret that shit. Because you know what? It actually happened to me too. I used to sit in church and think, oh my God, can you believe that woman and her husband are getting a divorce? What's going on there? And I was a bitch. I did. I secretly judged those women. And you know what? That shit will bite you in the ass, because as sure enough as I turned around, every freaking woman in church left me and didn't want to have a thing to do with me. And you know who you are too. You know what? I don't hold that against you anymore. Like, I really don't. I mean, I have really, really good people that have stood by me, and it's been very few and far between. But I know that those are like the die-hard kind of people that's like unconditional love. I mean, and I know who they are, and I'm so appreciative, and they know who they are because I've told them. So anyway, this wasn't supposed to be a rant or anything, but I just wanted to address that, because that's come up a number of times in emails too, but I try to keep everything positive. Like, I'm not going to give you guys all your attention. I mean, I'm going to address things on occasion, but I'm not going to give my ex attention. I'm not going to give all of these bitches that are wanting to bring me down. And it's like, you know what? It's not working. So the more you sit there and try to bring me down, like, the more I get subscribers. So just bring it on. I don't really give a damn. I really don't give a damn. You know, some days I get a little bit irritated, but you know what? I'm normal. Everybody has those freaking days that they're like, oh, I'm not perfectly aligned. And so what? Let's carry on and move on. Okay. How long have Jeffrey and I been together? Well, we started talking 2 weeks before I moved to Florida. And, but it was just very PG. It was very nice. And, you know, it was friendly. That was it. And so, so we started officially dating around September, October of 2015. And then we got engaged 2016. And we actually married. Our 1-year anniversary was just this past July 29th, which is the same anniversary as my parents, which is kind of cool. So that's how long we've been together. My favorite things to do together with Jeffrey is like all of the beautiful things that I love to do with Jeffrey are, we love to go on walks. We love to go to antique stores and like old flea markets and stuff, and like Goodwills, and just like thumb through all the stuff and find treasures, and like go to music stores and listen to music and watch movies, like romantic movies and like fun movies. Like, we have the same taste. Like, we're not so much as like wanting to go out into public. Like, we're really homebodies. We just like to stay here, and we'll have like, you know, carpet picnics and light candles and just snuggle and watch romantic movies, and sometimes we'll cry together, and it's just so beautiful. It's like dreamy, you guys. Like, do you know how long I wanted to have a soulmate that I could do all these beautiful things with, that didn't like go, oh my God, I'm totally not doing that. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, never watch a romantic movie. Like, I always wanted someone to want to just like hang out. And like, even if we don't have that much money, like, let's just go to like the flea markets and look at all the cool shit. Like, we love to garbage dive. Like, we both do that kind of thing. And you know, when people say like, oh, well, opposites attract, you know what? That's bullshit. Opposites don't attract. I'm telling you right now, like, it's important to do shit with your soulmate. Like, there's nothing more alienating than feeling like you're in a relationship with someone and you don't have anything in common with them. Like, I would always do the grocery shopping by myself. Well, now Jeffrey and I do everything together. Like, it sounds obnoxious to some people. Some people are like, don't you even have your own life? Yes, I totally do. Like, I do this kind of shit, like my YouTube videos. Whereas Jeffrey is like, dude, I am never going to be on camera. Like, I hate that. I don't even want my picture taken. I don't like that shit, you know? And like, my writing and my journaling and my blogging and that kind of stuff, like, I dig that. Whereas Jeffrey loves like all his gardening stuff, and well, I mean, we both love that stuff together. But anyway, those are the things that we love to do, right? Like, get on our bikes and go work out, and like, we love to do all that stuff together. Like, do projects at the house, or like put in a sink and paint, and like cook together. Like, we do everything together, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful relationship. Does Jeffrey like my oddities? Now, you guys probably haven't seen my oddities that I love. Like, know that I love, like, I'm obsessed with baby dolls. Like, old baby dolls, like where their eyes are half broken, their heads are off of their bodies. I love taxidermy stuff. Like, I would even venture to say, like, if Jeffrey didn't freak the flip out, right? I would want to, when Ollie dies, I would want to stuff him and put him in the corner. Like, but Jeffrey's like, that's creepy, you know? But like I've been known to find like decayed animals on the road, and like, after the bones are there, like, I'll want to go take them and like put them in like acid and just like, I know it's weird. It seems weird to people, but like, it's not that weird. It's not that weird if you think of it in a different way. Like, some people are just like weirded out by that. Like, I love baby dolls, like baby doll heads, and I'll put like a basket and a bowl of baby doll heads. And I love them. I would have a room full of baby dolls everywhere, like hanging on the walls and on the beds and looking at you, and oh my God, like, I love them. Now, my ex has all of my stuff, so I've had to like begin my new collections again. Like, I love old relic stuff, like old religious things, like, old carved crosses and old wooden crosses, and just like old brooms, and like, it's almost like witchery kind of thing, but I love that shit. Like, oh my God, I'm fascinated by it. Like, old Jesus things and like altar stuff and just crosses and like Dracula type. Like, I love all that stuff. Like, I don't know why I like it, but I really dig it. And I don't see it, and like, people are like, I remember like, I would want to get like these beautiful hand carved like marble, like it was Christ on the cross and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's terrible. Look at this Jesus hanging on. Like, I don't see it like that. It's art to me. Like, I'm an artist through and through. So that to me is cool stuff. So I don't have that stuff out, like, you can't see it, or I'm not doing it in my room that I'm shooting from. because I've had to start all over, you know, like collecting bones and collecting taxidermy stuff. Like I love like ocean stuff, you know, like old, you know, sand dollars and starfish and just all kinds of like marine life. I just love that aquatic stuff. Like I love it, and I want to do some like really cool art pieces with it and everything. Like, you know, just, you know, making you know, a horseshoe crab into an angel with some, you know, architectural pieces and stuff. Like I love all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so yeah, oh my God, I totally went off on that. But yeah, so, but does Jeffrey like that stuff? No, he thinks it's creepy and he doesn't like it. And he's like, please don't put the bones and stuff like in the living room. Cause I like attempted that. Like I decorated and I had like deer antlers and like the actual fur that was like off of the deer and stuff. Like these are all things that were shot and like, you know, from like my brother, he went on a, you know, he's going to kill the stuff. And so I'm like, well, I want some of those pieces. Like that sounds kind of like morbid or whatever. Cause it's like, no, I don't really even eat meat and stuff like that. And I'm like very sensitive to like, oh my God, you killed Bambi. Like I'm very much like, oh my gosh, I could never hunt or shoot a gun or kill anything like that. But it's like if it was humane or it died easily, you know what I'm saying, like naturally, then of course, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like I've been known to go to like the seafood markets and like if they had fish that died, like, can I have that because I want to taxidermy it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I totally dig it. Okay. Now, the other thing is, let me tell you about how I dress. Okay. Now, I have this thing to where my whole life, I've always dressed like old. Like the 1800s, like sometimes in the 50s, you know, just like either like a gypsy, like a hobo, I mean, I look like a transient, you know, like a bag lady. Like I've been called a bag lady so many times, like my kids would even say, Mommy, you look like a gypsy bag lady. Like, oh my gosh, all you need is like a knapsack or like shopping buggy, you know? And so I always go in between like looking like I'm from the 1800s with the beautiful little hat, Victorian hat and whatever, to going to like Laura Ingalls Wilder, to being a gypsy. Like, I don't know, like I think I was reincarnated and I never left that whole sense of style behind. I don't know. It's just, how have I embraced that? And that's another question I got. How do I embrace the lifestyle of like being a mermaid? Because a lot of people think being a mermaid, like, okay, she's a mermaid. Like when I say, no, I really am a mermaid. Like I have over 13,000 hours of performance underwater. So like I can swim like a bitch. Like I'm like a bitch. No, I'm really, really a good swimmer. And I can hold my breath probably about 4.5 minutes. Now, of course, you have to work up to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to be able to do that. Like if I get in the water and I haven't been swimming for like, you know, 6 months or whatever, it's going to take me a while to work up to that, but that's how everybody is. Your lung capacity will only take so much, and then it's kind of like a muscle. You exercise it, right? So, yeah, I just have embraced it by just owning it and just not being embarrassed. It's kind of like, I look at being a mermaid like this. People will give you their opinion, or they will kind of make remarks, or they will say something like, you know, isn't that kind of weird? Or, you know, how do you do this? Or how do you maneuver between that and this or whatever? Because I'm very much different than like these mainstream mermaids. Like I'm more into the Victorian, like how it used to be beautiful and artistic and kind of thing. Whereas like now it's just like every Tom, Dick, and Harry is like a mermaid. And I just think that there's a lot more to being a mermaid, so to speak. Like it's an all-encompassing, entire transformational journey for me. It's not just like, I'm a mermaid and I swim in a hot pink tail. Like I'm totally not that girl. Like, no, I'm not that girl. Like Like I made my mermaid tail out of a old quilt, okay? Like I just, you know, and old sequins and stuff like that. Like I'm just very old school. Like everything I do is old. And so, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I said, being a mermaid, I embrace it like wearing a hat. Okay. For the longest time that I can remember, I've always worn hats. I'll wear little beret hats, little newsboy hats, big straw hats, Victorian little teeny hats, teacup hats. I mean, I will wear big bullion roses on a hat. Like, I just am not afraid to wear a hat. And here's the thing is people look at you weird when you're wearing a hat. For whatever reason, I don't know, like they feel like, oh, people will look at me. Yeah, people are gonna look at you because it's not normal. Most people don't wear hats. But if you look at it like back in the day, you were odd if you didn't wear a hat or a bonnet of some type of scarf or something on your head, right? And so I always feel like you embrace it. And if you go with your foot forward like that, or your fin forward, and you just act like, I'm gonna own this shit. Like, yeah, I wear a hat and stare at me all you want, but I'm secure in myself to know it doesn't matter.